Good afternoon, Brooklyn. This is Jeff from BK Mag TV, and this is the BK Mag podcast experience coming to you live from Brooklyn on this sunny day. Usually I do the podcast at night, and now this is my first time doing it in the morning, so it's pretty interesting with daylight. Today, this is an emotional episode, a remembering episode. It's a tribute episode. This episode is dedicated to the late great Bill Walton. He passed away from cancer at the age of 71 this past Monday. The NBA community and people just growing up watching basketball were very saddened of Mr. Walton's death. It was when I saw the article on ESPN, I was shocked. I was very, very shocked. I just couldn't believe it. And from all things, it had to be cancer. You know, one thing I'm getting tired of is cancer. I'm sick of it. You know, it claimed the life of my mom and a lot of other people's loved ones in America and around the world. You know, it's an awful disease. And I wished there was a cure for it already. I wish there was a cure for all these types of cancers so people can live their long-term existence with their families and loved ones. With Bill Walton, you know, when I was a kid, watching the NBA on NBC, I remember hearing his voice from the color commentary. I mean, obviously I didn't watch him play basketball, but he just knew so much about the game, the ins and outs about the game, and I was just so fascinated with his voice. I'm not gonna lie, I was very fascinated with Bill Walton's voice. I enjoyed hearing his voice on commentary, especially when the Knicks were winning and when the Knicks were losing. You enjoyed it. Bill Walton always had something clever, very witty, and something with a catchphrase to say. He always had something very witty to say. His catchphrases were famous. It's that tear it down, big man, bring it down, big man. And that's he was just that voice. That voice will always stay in my mind. He was just a legendary talent. And I hated the fact that NBC had lost the rights to the NBA and it went over to ABC. I wish NBC would have fought to kept it, because that would have created some more legendary memories and stuff like that. And we would have had more NBA on NBC with Bill Walton at commentary. It just would have been so much better, and I just missed it so much. I'm not gonna hold you. I just missed his voice. And then I remember getting older. I was looking at basketball drills, and I saw his video on basketball drills: how to dribble the ball, how to handle the ball. You know, getting yourself warmed up, putting the ball behind your back, between your leg, on your side, around your legs, around between your legs. Around your feet, and then coming back up to your shoulders, around your head, just getting comfortable, getting acclimated with the ball. And I did that exercise, and I became a better ball handler just looking at it. And I think a lot of millions and millions of other youths out there who were watching that Bill Walton video had learned a lot. I believe he partnered with Magic Johnson, and they did their segment, and Carmelo Anthony came on that segment, and he was doing the jump shots and whatnot. But watching Bill Walton and showing off skills and techniques of how to become a better basketball player, just legendary. He's a two-time NBA champion, #1 draft pick in the 1974 draft, led Portland Trailblazers to their only NBA championship. People don't realize he didn't play in the Olympic Games, or because he was injured, but I think there was also social protests as well because of the whole U.S. Cold War, cold relations. But he stood on principle, and he stood on dignity, he stood on pride. his son Luke Walton, fine young man, was able to coach the Golden State Warriors when Steve Kerr was injured, led them to a big win. You know, it's funny. Bill Walton told his son, "Do not take the Lakers job. Don't take the Lakers job." You know, and he was right. Seeing what Luke Walton had gone through, and he resigned. I mean, it was being a Laker head coach is not an easy job, and Bill has seen that from a mile away. Don't tell his son, don't take that job. That's just the mark, the intelligence, the astuteness that Bill Walton had in the game of basketball. He also was a big server, big contributor to the communities around the basketball world, outside the basketball world. Many people, oh man, Larry Bird talked about him, Magic Johnson talked about him, everybody, Isaiah Thomas, everybody who liked him. I think there was a time he had beef with Shaquille O'Neal, and I always say to myself, Shaquille O'Neal was trying to make fun of his points, but let's be honest, Shaq, yeah, you were good, but you wasn't great in my eyes, because you honestly was just, you partied too much, and you didn't take the game seriously enough, and you were just letting your weight go off, and it was just like, and Bill Walton was only calling you out on that like everybody else called you out on it, and you got sensitive about it, you know, and you were trying to compare your stats to Bill Walton. Bill Walton was number one and three-time Naismith champion, which is a hard feat to reach. It's only usually get lucky to get one, but to get three is amazing. How many did you get, Shaq? I don't want this to make this about me attacking Shaquille O'Neal, but I will say this: Bill Walton was just legendary, and he left a mark on society as a whole, not just the basketball community. Many people loved and cherished Bill Walton, and that voice, that sensational voice that just caught your attention, that just made you want to watch the game all the way through. I'm going to tell you this, a basketball game is like almost 3 hours. And to hear Bill Walton's voice, to keep you engaged, those are the voices that America needs, like, to hear, because his voice was just so captivating, just, you know, mesmerizing, just hooking your attention. And that's what you really need, is to get your, like, voices like that. And he was just a student and a teacher of the game of basketball, a teacher of life. You know, he raised a strong family. Many people just loved him dearly, and I know his funeral is going to be packed with a lot of mourners coming through to celebrate his life, to remember his life, his catchphrases, his anecdotes. Man, it's gonna be a very magical service, very touching, very emotional service. I felt like his energy was with me on Monday night when I believe, was it Monday night? No, it was Tuesday night. Was the Timberwolves game, and I had made a parlay, and I thought I was gonna lose. I felt that his energy from above got it my way, you know, helped the Timberwolves win, you know, and to hit the points. You know, I will tell you this: I felt like that was divine intervention, because I thought I was gonna lose, and he just came out. The energy from him from above was able to help me. Always looking out, you know. I always say this: Bill was just legendary, just a legendary figure. And when he died, especially from cancer, because that claimed my mother's life as well, 4 years ago, it just made me sad, man. It just made me sad. Recently, I went through genetic testing to see what cancers run in my bloodstream, in my family line, lineage line, and as well. Genetic testing is very important. I think a lot of people need to know about it. I'll do a future podcast episode about it in the near future. It's very important to have, you know. I wish, my thoughts, my deep thoughts and my deep prayers go to Bill Walton and the Bill Walton family, the Walton family. I feel like every day, every year that comes by, I'm just losing people that I grew up with as a kid. They're all passing away, and sometimes it's hard to look at, to live through. All I could do is pray for them, that their spirit is in a better place. Bill Walton, I know you're in heaven right now making basketball plays, or teaching someone how to play basketball in heaven. Yeah. God bless your soul, Bill Walton, always. Thank you for listening to this episode of the BKJ Mac Podcast Experience. Peace, love, always.